I'm Mandy. I play guitar and I do backings for Shems, for Sons of Shem. And I am the lead vocalist and guitarist of FAET.
I'm Lev. I'm the frontman for Sons of Shem, and I play drums and do the yells in FAET. Welcome to the interview. My name's Polarpanda. Awesome. Wow. Two good questions. Okay, so Sons of Shem started in a bit of a place where we were being paid to be professional musicians at this 5-star restaurant in the Lani areas of Durban. And as you can imagine, that meant playing some pretty soul-crushing covers. And me and my one mate, Ray, and there was another guy there, Zolani, as well. And three of us were like, nah, man, working this job every day is pretty rough. We need events. And we were talking about ideas of fusions of genres and stuff like that. Especially, I was very interested in hip hop and rap ever since my early days of being inspired by Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, all of those big names, POD especially. So we started just messing around, and it just became like a bit of a creative catharsis where we could just reconnect with our instruments in a way that wasn't playing for the man or doing what we needed to do to earn the bucks. Yeah, so that's how Sons of Shem started. And it started off as a giant fuck you to society, that the side of society that wants to put you in a box, that wants you to just listen, it wants you to fit in neatly, it wants you to conform and just play by the rules, you know? And Sons of Shem was like, nah, we are so much greater than that, and we will not sit neatly in your little box. But yeah, then Ray and I took that for quite a while. Zol left early. We then were joined by Chase, then Shane, who joined on drums. And then we obviously went through COVID. And at that point, Ray and I was saying, we really need a rhythm guitarist. And I had started dating this beautiful woman here who was on bass at the time. And then she was starting to dabble around COVID time. She was starting to try out guitar. I said, hey, what about Mandy? She's got an incredible work ethic and creativity. Why don't we speak to her? Long story short, she started off there. And then Ray had to go to Joburg, and we decided, let's just keep the band on, you go ahead with your thing, I'll go ahead with Shem's. Yeah, everyone was happy, and Mandy ended up becoming the new guitarist for Sons of Shem.
It's been good. It's been really cold. But we have such incredible forests here, and Brands and I, or Leb and I, are super forest nerds, and we love the forest. So we've been exploring loads of the spooky areas around here, and it's been really good. We've slowly started integrating into the music scene here, but we still
slowly. Week one we were at our first gig.
Yeah. There's so many cool bands aside, so we're loving that side of it as well. But we still obviously miss Derbs and our home and everybody that side. We haven't just left you all behind and okay, bye.
It's been absolutely incredible here for different reasons, but nothing is ever going to replace that feeling of missing Durban, especially Durban. I mean, we loved Maritzburg too. So even KZN, in general, Durban, KZN, it's got a special place for us. South Africa in general is great, but KZN is its own beautiful creature. So it's been awesome. We went last night to a first night opening of the only current music venue in our town, our small little village. It was the first opening night last night, and they have a jukebox, and only alternative tracks are playing on the jukebox. So we were super pumped about that.
Yeah.
Made a bunch of crazy friends there. Tonight we're going to a thrash metal gig in Newport. So we got a lot of cool things. Currently, this camera is resting on 5 kgs of duck food.
Because I love duck. So
we found out yesterday that the forest surrounding us is it the most?
No, it's just one of the haunted places.
One of the main haunted places in the entire of the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of sheep. There's more sheep in Wales than people. I think there's 3 times more sheep. So there's just sheep everywhere, and they're really cute.
And there's squirrels. Squirrels are my favorite. I nearly rolled the car trying to look for squirrels the other day. The animals actually run away from you. Yeah.
Oh, not like
Whereas where the monkey just looks at you and is like, yeah, what's up, bro? These are my bananas now.
Yeah. But also like the well, kind of nature related is we like get a lot more of the seasons aside. So now we're going into autumn and like all the leaves are going orange and brown and it's really pretty. It's very like October-y this side.
It's really beautiful. Definitely another big difference is that you feel the seasons, like Mandy says, a lot more here. There's a massive difference between summer, autumn, winter, spring. Our instruments have been shipped since the beginning of August. They've been on the ships. And then, of course, Durban Harbour's issues caused a massive delay. So we're only seeing our instruments for the first time since August on Tuesday. So we are really missing that distortion or whatever, but we were really blessed that my brother-in-law, Mandy's but David James, who's also an incredible musician, was like, yeah, have my ukulele, have my acoustic guitar until you guys get sorted. I've also been working on production and mixing and mastering of some of the tracks we're working on at the moment. So I've been working with synths and stuff more than actual electric instruments at the moment. So yeah, but it's been cool. We've got a basement downstairs. We go down there like a Friday afternoon. I'll go down there, have a couple dops and just sing away and drive the neighbors nuts.
It's a lot more diverse, I would say, because there's just such a big scene that there's always different bands, like from every different genre playing, you know. But the one thing I would say that I'm missing about Durban is like we've only been to a couple of venues, but the ones we have been at, they don't march nearly as hard or get like as pumped as Durban does, and I miss that so much. Like we're the ones going crazy, and everyone else is kind of like standing there.
Yeah, there's maybe like 3 other people that are headbanging as well and getting.
Yeah, otherwise they kind of just like watch.
But yeah, we haven't been to the big ones yet.
Yeah,
we haven't been to Cardiff, Bristol, and London properly for gigs yet. Check Electric 6 in December, so we'll see then. Although they're not really. Yeah, and tonight I'm hoping to have my first UK mosh pit at a thrash metal gig. So, we miss all the talents too. The UK doesn't have Wawa Baby. It doesn't have Polarpanda. It doesn't have Bedrock Spirit, Scrubs, all the beautiful, beautiful bands that we've come to play alongside of. So it's awesome. It's its own thing, and it's actually let's compare it to Linkin Park. You know, that whole thing. You can't ever compare to Chester. He was one of a kind. You can't expect any singer to be Chester Bennington. That woman has done damn well to fill the shoes as best as possible, but creates her own version of Linkin Park. Well, a new version of Linkin Park, one that incorporates Emily, and I think she's nailed that. And that's the same thing here. We didn't come here to find another Durban. We came here to find something new, something fresh, and then when the time is right, start to integrate those two. Start to introduce some UK bands to Durban and some Durban bands to the UK, you know. So that's the idea, but never to come here and go, oh, this is shit because it's not Durban, or go back and say Durban is shit because it's not the UK. You know what I mean? Appreciating them for I mean, you know what it's like. You've been one of our biggest supporters, Polar, but Shems is all about celebrating diversity. So we don't try and silence the diversity and try and focus on what we want. We try and really immerse ourselves in whatever culture we're a part of. Good question.
We've only seen a couple bands so far, but I really liked Godsticks are really cool. They're like a black prog metal band. Or like they're not really metal, I would say. Like they're more progressive rock. But they're very, very cool. I like their sound a lot. And then what was that band that we saw?
Gorn.
Yes, Gorn. They're
Gorn
really cool.
and Hawks.
Yeah.
They're quite interesting spelling. HAWXX.
Yeah.
And then Gorn, GORN. 2 amazing female-fronted acts. I think they were female-fronted acts, but they were like absolutely.
They're also very like LGBTQ.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
So I don't know what they identify as, but their entire sets were so much energy. But then we also had the honor of going to our first jam session, and there was Ryan Key's project playing that night, which was a much gentler, like indie approach to music, and also just incredible. So yeah, there's just so much diversity at the moment, and we are just literally on the tiniest tip of that iceberg
Yeah.
of like
Okay.
the entire UK music scene. So yeah, we'll definitely have a lot more stories for you in future.
Oh, absolutely. Let's make an interview part 2. How is it in Wales? But like, you know, like you've adjusted and acclimatized to it fully.
Yeah.
How did your name come about, Sons of Shem? What does that mean? What does that entail? How did you come about that? Because a band's name says a lot about them. Like, I mean, Linkin Park used to be called Zero, and it was then Hybrid Theory, and then it was finally Linkin Park. Like, you know, like how did your guys' name come about?
It actually, I think it was a 2 out of 3 votes back when it was Ray, myself, and Zolani. And Ray was never convinced, but I liked it. And yeah, so it wasn't like a sure winner. We were just like, you know, this is the best one we've got so far, and we like it. And you know, and he was like, yeah, sure, let's go with the majority. But until something better comes, we're like, yeah, sure. Nothing better ever came up, but it means a lot to me. I'm very, very like that's my first choice of name, just to be clear. And it's very symbolic. Like everything I do is pretty symbolic and metaphorical. I'm not quite a like direct lyrics kind of guy. I like multiple layers of meaning. And Sons of Shem has very many different meanings. Number one, the Shem plays on the word shame. We are sons of shame in a way. We have grown up with shame for our human condition, shame for who we are, shame for not being good enough in society. And shame is pretty much one of the cancers that just gnaws and chips away and corrupts the self-esteem and the empowerment of any person. And we stand strongly for human empowerment and reminding people what we're capable of and what our minds are capable of. We're so much better than what we currently are at the moment. It's a little warring virus species on this planet. We're so much better than that. So we've been birthed into the society of shame. And sons is not necessarily, it's also playing with the gender too. Like I love the fact that we also kept sons with Mandy in it, because we're trying to remove terms that should be sex, questioning things like sex and gender and the differences that come about that. So that's another one that was amazing for us. So we kept that. But then the main one is that in the Bible, we're not big religious people at all, but in the Bible, there's a story of Noah. I think most people are familiar with. The man that kind of steps in, builds the ark, saves the species of the planet during violent global catastrophe, you know, the flooding. So pretty much in a nutshell, God's like, the world's sinning way too much. Hit that restart button. I'm done with this this useless species, you know. Washes the world clean. The first children in that land are Shem and his children. Shem was Noah's son. And so the sons of Shem are technically Noah's grandchildren. So it's pretty much symbolic of after this whole world gets washed clean, once we realize what we've done wrong, where we need to improve on, you know, saying the old way is not working for us. We're stepping into something new. We're stepping into something that's proudly us, the youth, the young man, the new approach to life. So there's more meanings to Sons of Shem, but those are, just for the sake of time today, some of the main ones I'd like to just touch on.
How did FAET come about? What was how did you come up with the name FAET as well? Like I understand it's got that double entendre of FATE and Fae, like a fairy creature, FAET, but how did that spawn about as well? And is there any more, if you can expound upon those two aspects of the name?
Yeah, sure. I wish I went first, to be honest. Brandon's always way more metaphorical than I'm like, but yeah, basically I love the Fae, and I'm very inspired by like paganism and Celtic beliefs and stuff like that. And the Fae they're like an interesting concept in like pagan beliefs, because they're seen as these, a lot of people see them as like these very cute, sweet creatures. But they actually are like very mischievous, and they have like a dark edge to them. And when we were writing the music at the time, there's always like a cutesy side to our songs and like the cute element, but there's also like quite a dark punky edge to it. So described like the Fae kind of described the musical side of things as well, of kind of the project. And then the reason we went with FAET is because I never really intended to start my own project, and like it wasn't in the pipeline at all. And then just kind of like the way that life went about and like situations happened, it kind of forced me from many directions into this project. So it kind of felt like fate. So yeah, those two words together kind of formed the band name.
Okay, lovely. So
Yeah.
how did Fate come? How did the band come about? Was it a thing of like you and Leb were like, hey, let's make a band together but separate from the Shems? Like, how did Fate come about exactly? Because it's comprised of most of the same members of the Shems, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. So basically, it came about in that I had a whole bunch of songs written for a project that I thought was going to happen, and it didn't. And then I was kind of like, what do I do with all these songs? And then Brian kind of spoke to me and was like, you've never really had your own project. Like, I've always sessioned for other people. I've always been the person that brings like an element to another band, but I've never had like my own thing. And so at the time, it just made a lot of sense that like I had my own expression and my own place to kind of be who I am as well, outside of like other people's opinions. And at the time, I was going through like a very kind of like a self-expression journey as well, of like trying to let go of other people's opinions and trying to like let go of the pressures from others. So it was kind of like part of that personal journey as well, of like allowing myself to exist outside of other people's expectations and stuff like that. And that's kind of like a lot of what Fate is about as well. So yeah, Brian's as well like helped me with that journey and kind of showed me that this project would help me in that personal journey as well. Yeah, and then it's really nice because Brian's sessions for my project, and then I session for his, so we both have like our own kind of vision and voice, but we help each other through it, which is really cool.
And I think it's something that's quite important for a lot of musicians. It took me a long time to work out, and a lot of unnecessary arguments with band members. But to learn that, like music is very special to all of us. Like you write a riff, someone comes to you and wants to change something about that. It becomes very personal very quickly, you know. And when you're a new musician in the scene, you want to have your voice, and anyone that's disagreeing with that is almost disagreeing with the part of your soul in a way, which becomes a really big deal. So it's really nice for musicians that find themselves. I mean, there's a lot of musicians like, hey, I don't really enjoy writing. I love just vibing off what other people are like. That's cool. But then for those that are like composers, like me and Shane, for example, first time and even bands, when we first had ideas together, it's like, no, but I like this, but I like that. We both are aware that no one's idea is wrong. No one's idea is bad. It's just, where do we go now? So to have one person steering the ship where it's like, man, this is what I think of this. Okay, but I like this. Okay, cool. This is Fate. We go with your call. No hard feelings. It makes it a very clear delineation of creative direction, pretty much. But I must say, just on that note of Fate too, like Mandy is an incredible writer, but she's also, anyone that's met her also knows she's exceptionally humble. So, she definitely like stepped into that role. And I think all of us in Fate, Amber, myself, and Shane, all noticed with Mandy what an incredible front woman and band leader she has become. Like, she would always be like, no, I can't do it. No, I won't be the best band leader. No, I don't know. And yes, she's just like thrived in that role, I think. So like, it was a really good call. And it does kind of, for me, that's something that stood out about Fate. It was Fate. We never intended for the old project to end, and we didn't really want that. Let's get metaphorical for a second. The dead tree that has rotted in the forest now breathes life to this new plant that feeds off us.
Oh, that's lovely.
Paula's sitting there like, what the hell did I get myself into?
No, I love that sort of stuff, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Linkin Park's lyrics, but I just like that avenue, like the way you guys, that avenue of lyric writing. Like when I listen to like self-titled song The Sons of Shem, I'm just like come and play for you. I forgot the lyrics, but when I look at them, I'm just like, wow, this is like music. This isn't just sound and guitar. This speaks to me, Also, I was happy as a child, so they gave me education. Learned this money imagination. Like, is that still The Sons of Shem? What song is that?
Yeah.
It's still The Sons of Shem.
No,
yeah.
I've gone blank. You just you got a Lebanese man to blush. Congratulations, bro. You sing his lyrics to him.
Oh, no.
I just got a deeper shade of brown.
Oh my God.
Man, I'll tell you when I remember it, but yeah, I've like gone blank on the
No,
imagination.
I think
But it's
that
actually
is,
funny you say that, bro.
yeah.
I got my first criticism on the Sons of Shem. And someone was like, yeah, bro, your music's great, but your lyrics are pretty trash, eh?
What?
And I was like,
Who
thanks,
said
man.
that?
That's your opinion, and that's cool. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. And I'm not going to sit here, but I don't think you fully understand the lyrics, and that's okay. You don't need to. They're not for you.
Yeah.
So for you to comment on the Sons of Shem specifically,
Yeah.
shout out to my haters. Y'all are fucking wrong.
No, but genuinely, that song and like a Prophet Kings are like two of my favorite. Just, I don't know, the sound. I use it in like so many of my videos and so many like edits and stuff I've made. I haven't posted them because I just keep them in my gallery, but they all have like, I use that song in like so many edits. Like in this one I'm creating now that I may or may not post, like the beginning song of it was the Sons of Shem, because I'm like, it's such a tune that like that is so, I love it. I love that song.
Epic, bro. And anytime we can send you stuff, or if you need like the actual raw files, you just shout, because we love supporting your stuff too, bro. You've been one of our dearest members of our family so far in the Sons of Shem family, because your support just means the world, bro.
Of course. Of course.
Like I know, like I'm gonna put up a post and I'm gonna get Ava and Polarpanda beating everyone to the punch. You know, like respect.
Oh, no. Lol, that's funny. Shut up. I appreciate that, because I really do. Yo, that EP, I have it downloaded on my Spotify list, and like, you know, it's in my rotation of songs like Hybrid Theory, Meteora, some Deftone stuff, and then it's like the Sons of Shem. Like, you know, I'm feeling for the self-titled EP, you know. I forget the name, the Flooded, Floods was, I forget the name of the
Flood.
First of the Flood. The whole EP is just so fun to listen to as well. I remember Green Flame, the first time I heard you guys at Westville, Green Flame, I was like, what is that melody? And I was captivated by it. I think you guys played Prophet Kings. Did you guys play Prophet Kings?
Yeah.
No, it was Ravioli. Ravioli was the one that got me hooked. I love that song.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's actually quite interesting. That is actually our debut album. So we surpassed the EP. We were like, let's not do an EP. But I'm glad you brought it up, because if you listen carefully, and someone who's got a musical ear, they will probably notice that it does feel almost like 3 EPs into one. And we did that on purpose. Because we got 3 different producers: Dan Philogene from Truth Decayed and Always Us.
Wow.
Shane Kyatt, Skinwalker, FAET, Sons of Shem, sorry. And then Kai Ramsey from Scrubs and the Office Koki Club. All 3 of them have contributed. 3 amazing producers. We wanted the first album. We were even like, you know what, like we could pay like some international like producer or South African producer with years of experience, or we could speak to the raw talent of Durban, you know. And I would not change my mind if I went back. But it was also 3 different producers instead of 1, because like I said earlier, we want to celebrate diversity. And we were like, let's break the status quo. Like, yes, an album should sound like one unified unit, but at the end of the day, this is our music to express what we want. And we're not here to fulfill the status quo. We're not here, unfortunately, to make fans happy. We're happy when fans dig what we do, and that brings so much joy to us. But we are not here to fulfill anything else than our goals, you know, like not in a selfish way, but our goals are the upliftment of everyone. So yeah, we were like, let's go with diversity. 3 different producers on 1 album, trying to put it all together. So yeah, it is technically like 3 EPs put together into 1 album. So thanks for bringing that up.
No, of course. I love First of the Floods as well. What is the future of FAET, actually? Because your style, it's so interesting. You really do have a sort of a much different, you guys have 2 different styles. Like, they're similar, but you can hear that's FAET, that's Sons of Shem. What is the future of your guys' sound? Are you just going to continue releasing singles leading up to an EP? Or like what's the story with FAET? Because your album covers are beautiful, like the song structure and the lyrics are gorgeous. You've really curated a sound, like that sort of fair, like you've got parts where it's very sweet and, you know, I don't want to use the word poppy, but it's very sweet and like fairy-like, and then you have those much more, face it, you've lost your hold on me. Like you have that duality, and I love it. You've really kind of, how do I say, you've articulated that duality, and I love it. What's the future of your guys' sound?
It's an interesting question because I'm very similar to Brands on this, and that I'm not really one to like box myself into a sound. I think like at the moment there's like similarities between songs, but I actually have a few songs coming up that are like completely different.
Okay.
Yeah, but they all have like a similar artwork, and the vision for FAET at the moment is that each song is kind of like a little oracle card. Like they designed like little oracle cards, and then eventually I want to make like a little oracle deck. And each song has kind of like a meaning and like a lesson that I've learned that like it will translate into like the oracle cards eventually. But yeah, I'm always like, I'm a human and I'm very fluid as a human. I don't like saying, oh, I'm like this and this is how I am. Every day I feel different sometimes, like I'll be angry and then I'll be like super cutesy and happy sometimes, So I don't like to kind of like box myself in. So a lot of it is just how I feel on the day. And some of that is like very different to the other ones. Like the next song we got coming out is like a very chilled indie song, like an uplifting, happy, cutesy indie song. And there's no real like grit to that song. It's just like, it's way more poppy. And then the one after that is like ridiculously angry and, like way more grit to it. So it's kind of like all over the place, but I like that it is like that. And I think it's kind of representation of how fluid like emotion and human kind of identity can be,
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
What did you have any venues in mind currently at the places you want to play at, or are you still like checking the scene out?
Oh yeah, we definitely have some venues.
Okay.
So just off the top of our heads, there's this new one that opened last night. It's more like a smaller Winston, and it's beautiful. It's a lot more artsy. Like it's like they got really cool decorations on the wall. There was like a beautiful like olden style art piece of a man riding a velociraptor. It's like the art is insane. The art is so cool there. It's like UFO pictures and things like this. So it's got a really cool UK vibe to it, and like I'm really excited to play there. Like that, I know. Like we stepped in there last night. I was like, this is many memories about to happen here. Like this is going to be an era. This isn't just a venue. But then Le Pub is our jam. That was the first gig we ever attended in Newport. It's about 30 minutes away from us, but such a dope venue. Yeah? Like also again, like kind of got that edge like the Winston did, but it's so cool, man. SWX, I think it is, in Bristol. Bristol in general is an area we want to become very familiar with. Like it's about an hour and a half drive from us, but it's a huge music scene. And then we are also obviously keen to play London. While we're in the UK, it'll be kept to play London. Just a proper like drive to the Berg and back.
Yo.
Yeah.
So what is your experience as like, how long have you been in Durban? Like how long have you been in the music scene and playing live shows and stuff?
Sure. Oh, Cardiff. That's the other one too. Sorry, Cardiff.
Oh, okay.
That's the other one we play. Yeah. For me, actually, you go first.
Well, mine's so little compared to yours.
That's why I let you go first.
Yeah, I have been in the music scene since 2019. When I started playing with Brands, we were doing tribute shows at the time. And that was the first time I was on stage. But I mostly played bass. I only started playing guitar in like 2022. I don't know. It was not that long ago. And then that's kind of when I think my musical journey started properly. I feel like more of a guitarist than I do a bassist. So yeah, bass was kind of like my little introduction to the scene. I didn't play a lot, and then I started playing a lot more when I started playing guitar.
Amandi's also like, you can tell she's Welsh because she's like miles ahead of me. I'm like proud of my musical ability, but she's miles ahead of me in terms of singing.
No way.
Like her ability to just like, we'll just be like jamming, freestyling. Auntie has got harmonies for days. Like she's just like rolling, not just one. It's like one, next harmony, perfect key. And yeah, so like it's really like she's an incredible singer in the way she like I'm like one of my favorites to go back to example, Prophet Kings. I came up with an idea for the vocals, but when Mandy was done executing that idea, that was my favorite part of the song. The song that just happened in studio. That day, we didn't plan it. We'd written all of the song, but in studio that day, Mandy just comes up with this. So yeah, I think she's been singing for a lot longer, but not like officially in the music scene.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been getting back on track. Your ADD brain is strong. It's now about 20 years for me in the music scene. Like sometimes just starting by like attending gigs and meeting the peeps, to playing, to event management, to doing sound, to networking with bands and helping bands find other venues. And yeah, like it's been a beautiful journey in Durban, I must say. And it extended, like we said, we had to live a year in Maritzburg, in one of the best years ever. Maritzburg is a beautiful, beautiful place. And we were lucky enough to be integrated into that scene from Maritzburg, Hilton, Harwick, and to be a part of the incredible Vern era was so cool. So yeah, those are just some highlights.
Okay, lovely.
No.
What's your guys' fave set list that you've played? Like, can you not name one?
This hard.
Yeah.
You go first because you just got one set list already.
Yeah, I've already got one. That's my favorite so far.
The only no, actually, there's a bit more songs.
We have such slight things.
Covers.
Yeah, some covers. But I always love playing Destroy Boys covers, so that would be my favorite set list. When we had like 3 Destroy Boys covers in a set list at one stage, and that was my favorite.
Okay, lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. And you? Oh, two. Yes, 2.
Oh, and then I'm sorry, I'm going to comment on FAET here. Any set list where Better Off Alone is played in our punk rock version, I love it. Oh,
Better Off
like
Alone.
that's a song, like when you're a musician on stage and you're like, okay, there's some songs I got to pay attention to. Like, I mustn't mess up. When Better Off Alone comes on, I'm like, I don't care if I mess up. This is my jam. I don't care if anyone in the audience likes it. This is my jam. It's Lev's time. And I'm like dancing behind my drum kids. It's so cool.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That song is actually really intense for me, so it's not as fun, but it's fun.
Wait, so who's that by? Which one is that?
It's like an electronic song that we've made into like a punk version.
But we were actually inspired by...
Was that not a cover?
Oh, yes, Peach
Kelly.
Okay.
They do a cover similar to us. Yeah.
Okay.
When we heard the cover, we're like, we need to do something like this. This is amazing. Shem's, there's so many set lists, like it's crazy. A recent favorite that we haven't played since Mandy joined the band, we haven't played it, is Jungle Gym. Sorry, not Jungle Gym. Jungle Gym's an amazing one. It's a house song, but it's Justice Reigns. Justice Reigns is on our Spotify, but it's like our early day mixes. So it's like Flip the Bassline and Justice Reigns are not our best quality recordings. It's like your early days. But those two are like regrowing popularity with me again. I love the house vibe that Jungle Gym brings, where people in our audience just start dancing and we're dancing, and the whole vibe is just, the whole room, it feels like, is just bouncing at that point. I love that. But then, there's our favorites too, like Prophet Kings, Ravioli, Sons of Shem, like you said. Dance in the Fire has always been a fun one, I think.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, but I must be honest, getting Skippy, I'm sure the whole KZNC knows the amazing Skippy. Skippy, the one, okay, I gotta paint you a quick picture. Sorry, we're gonna be like scenic about this, but the first time we ever pulled this song off, I wrote it. We never played it together as an order, like we never practiced as a unit on the song. It only existed as recordings that I had put together and be like, okay, you guys are gonna play this, you're gonna do this, and they'd never played with Skippy before. And it's at Metal Mosh. Metal
Punk Metal Fest.
Punk Metal Fest run by Evo Music. And we're the headliner, and I'm drunk on stage. And we had this whole thing where, and I thought we were going to just I was like, Shane and Raina aren't going to go too into it. They're like very professional dudes. And I gave them this idea, like, fake a fight on stage. Well, they did so well. We thought they were actually fighting. And like Raina, Shane starts, oh no, you always just have it so easy, man. Like, just give me a break. I'm drumming here and I'm tired. And this is happening in the middle of our set, right? And everyone's like looking around like worried. Renault's like, oh, fuck you, Shane. Your job's piss, bro. Like, you easy, And he's like, oh, you think you can do this? Yeah, come, let's go. And in the middle of this fight, they switch instruments. And it's the first time we play Awe Laddie. And then it starts off with like me playing a solo bass run, Shano playing the run, me back forth. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of a sudden, from the back of the hall, the sound of bagpipes fills the room. And in walks Skippy, proud as ever, from the Highlands of Scotland.
Oh, dear.
So any set list where Awe Laddie's being played, I love it. And then, of course, one of our favorites has to include the song that we were well known for was the first band in Durban to play Backstreet's Back. Everybody
right.
by Backstreet Boys. And we became known for that, And it was just like, now people come there and they're like, oh, will you song? We're like, oh, which one? Is it Ravioli? Is it? No, Backstreet Boys. Like, fuck, guys, we have originals too,
It's like, we're not a cover band. We used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So my next question is your craziest live show, or was that your craziest live show? Like, in terms of like getting a beer bottle thrown at you, having fun on stage, like what's the craziest like live?
I'll be honest, that one was crazy in its own way because that was the first time I blacked out on stage. Like, not physically blacked out. I don't remember certain parts of that set. And I wasn't like ridiculously drunk. I was on, but I wasn't ridiculously drunk. And yes, it's like I came off stage and I'm like, why didn't we play Green Flame? And Mandy's like, you did. I'm like, no, but I didn't play my solo then. You did. I don't remember playing any of them. So I don't know what happened that day, but it was such a joy.
Yeah. And our last gig we played was really fun as well. But Brad is just going to sound like an alcoholic at this stage.
No.
I don't even drink that much. I'm usually designated driver, so when I'm not driving, I hit it hard.
Yeah. So any show that Brandon gets on is really the raucous shows, the fun ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the last one, it was more emotional than drunk. I just couldn't stand straight. It was crazy. I was just so sad that like the Matric Mosh was our last South African gig, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
And it was like just beautiful. So yeah. Some crazy ones that we've played. I've had cops break up my shows a couple times.
What?
Which is always fun. Yeah. But that's kind of chilled. I've gone blank now, but there've been some amazing ones. We blew the first time we ever played Wasteful Warehouse. We played our sound check, which was just an improv. We just made it up on stage, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And then we drop into Sons of Shem, and Reno's guitar is just not coming through the mix. So we're trying to sort that out. The tech guy is trying to sort it out. He gets it right. We just about jump. As soon as we jump into the song, the entire substation for the area blows.
No.
Now we are pissed.
Yeah. They also claiming that we blew the substation.
We totally blew that substation. That substation could not handle the Shems that
Nah, bro. The substation took a look at the set list. I was like, nah, I'm out. Not today. No, thank you. No
how
Shems.
it starts. Damn.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna risk my luck.
But Shems is also, like we said, the spirit of human resilience. And that was one thing that day which made that gig so cool. Everyone was like, oh, and we're all sitting in darkness and whatever. And that's what I love. I can turn to my butch Shane, who's like a phenomenal musician. Anyone who knows Shane knows there's nothing he can't do. And I turned to him and I'm like, come, bro, I'm going to get us a guitar and we're going to continue this shit. And he's like, I'm down. So I asked the opening act, who was an acoustic act, Prozac at the time, can we borrow your guitar, bro? Before everyone leaves in sadness, we will not end on these terms. Let us borrow your guitar, please. Like, sweet. And we start off with Tenacious D. This is just the best and greatest song in the world, you know? And everyone's like, whoa. And before you know it, I'm like running on tables and stuff, and everyone's singing along. And the whole venue was singing so loud in the dark to an acoustic guitar that they could no longer hear because they were all so loud. It was such a magical moment of, fuck you, South African infrastructure. You can't hold us down. We are rock stars and we are rock appreciators, and you have no authority here. And it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's beautiful. I hate to do this to you guys. I love you guys, but what's your favorite song to play? Like,
For me, it's probably Face It. I have fun playing that one. It's not super hard to play, and it's like fun. Yeah, Face is probably mine. Of FAET. Of Shem's, I don't know. I would say Ravioli, but I hate that we always start with Ravioli, and then I start Ravioli, and then I get super nervous because then I'm like starting the whole show. But it's a fun song to play once we get into it. Yeah, it's actually my favorite Shem song. It's actually Ravioli got me into Shem's. Like, I watched them play Ravioli before I knew them, and I was like, this is such a cool song.
Same, literally
and
same.
Yeah,
literally same.
I have to come to all their shows because of the songs.
Literally same, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I also feel like any set where I start with Face It in FAET is like a brilliant moment for me. I'm like, that's that song where you're not worried about keeping in time. You're not worried, am I good enough? I know I'm damn good enough, and not in an arrogant way. It's just that song becomes you. It just takes over, and you're like, I'm alive on stage. I'm absolutely alive. And I'm experiencing life and not thinking about life. I'm experiencing it, you know. So that's my favorite FAET song at the moment. And then secondly, Shem's, it's so many. I feel like I'm disappointing my children here by choosing a favorite, but I'll comment on my favorite for now. And there's a few even there. There's one that used to be played in the old set called Loud and Clear. And it goes through a range of emotions. It goes through angry new metal chorus verse into this pretty melodic corn-styled vocal, like John Davis-styled vocal chorus, and then very anthemy bridge. Yeah, so that will be coming out soon again. Another one is Consequence and Accountability, which tells the story of 3 Oracle sisters. You remember the sisters of the Oracle?
Yeah.
And each of them foretells their future, but it plays with the idea that we foretell our own future. What you believe will happen, you'll convince yourself that you were able to tell the future because it will happen, but it's what we call in psychology a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because your mind was so fixated on that, your destiny was achieved because your mind was set on that. It wasn't necessarily this inevitable destiny you had to achieve. It was your mind was set to that frequency. So I love the lyrics on that. And also, it's such a progressive song. But the last one I think is my favorite at the moment. And it's the one that we debuted with you guys. We've never played it anywhere else besides the 2 Matric Marshes. And that is Roasty Toasty. That's the title for now. And it's the one with 031, 031, love, one love. Yeah, and it's like that one. It's like the new era of Sons of Shem, where it draws a lot of inspiration from Linkin Park, where I do love the synth elements and the electronic elements. And we are going to disappoint a couple fans when they see that Sons of Shem, the first album, was rock with a touch of electronic. But some parts of Sons of Shem songs are going to be electronic with a touch of rock. There's no clear formula to what we do. Like Mandy was saying, we don't box ourselves into genres. So, yeah, that's my favorite for now because it's bringing in a new era of Sons of Shem.
Okay. So it's like that sort of hybrid theory meets living things, like it's that transition of heavy, hard rock. You got to get that out of your system, and then you can start fiddling with the synths and the different, sounds and stuff. I personally love that because you will always be able to go back to the first of the Floods EP.
Yes.
And you'll have an album or song for every sort of occasion or vibe. So I don't know. It's also just that's not fair, like as a fan, to box in the artist to one genre. Like if you like the music and you say you're gonna like the artist, you should like the artist and what they create, you know? Like if you want to listen to Hybrid Theory and that's all you like from Linkin Park, great. Listen to Hybrid Theory forever. But then don't expect them to stay with Hybrid Theory. Don't expect them to, you know, play like 5 different versions of Given Up in 5 different albums. You know, you have to allow change, and that's when you can find, you know, like your love for them again.
Yeah.
What are
That's so powerful, and we the exact same. It's like join the artist's journey. Don't see them like a commodity. And that's the problem, is that the business model has been applied too strongly to music. There isn't a music industry now, but that industry only existed because music was so powerful first. We need to go back to why the businessmen needed to rush in and make an industry out of music. And unfortunately, so many fans are looking at music like it is the industry, and we as the fans and your paying customers are entitled to speak to the manager if we don't like your new album, you know, and like you can't have that. This is our art. This is our spirit's expression. And you know, like people out there that want to hate and stuff, just join the journey or don't. Or like you say, choose the parts you want to be a part of and choose the parts you don't. You don't have to love what we do, but let the artists express themselves. We've only got a certain amount of time of life on this planet, so let us do what we need to do. You know, so well said, Polo.
It's a very selfish mentality people can have like that. Like it's very cruel. What are your future plans as FAET and Sons of Shem? Like I've kind of asked this question already for FAET, but like now that you've kind of maybe thought about it a little bit more, what's your future plans for that? Like you said, you're going to add more synths and backing tracks, and what about that exactly? You know, like what can we expect as, you know, proud fans of Sons of Shem and FAET?
World domination.
Oh, really? Okay, I love this. I love this. Yes, I will be a foot soldier. I'll be like right there in the army. World domination sounds lovely.
We were actually talking about it this week, and I think I just want to be able to express myself through music. And I never want to have to sell out because of other people's expectations. You know, I'm very loyal to our fans, though. Like, I love our fans and our family. And my ear's always going to be listening for what they're saying. I'm not like, screw what you guys think, I don't care. I'm always going to care, especially my diehard Sons of Shem fans that are on our mailing list and that are there every step of the way with us. You know, I'm always noticing, I'm always listening. But don't expect that everything is going to turn into change for Sons of Shem. You know, like that's so, and that goes especially true for the business world. I don't know if we'll ever settle with a record label, even if we were offered one. You know, the main thing for Sons of Shem, I would rest easy and die a happy death one day knowing that people were empowered because of my music. People could put on the headphones on a day that they were depressed and feel like the kings and queens that they are. Because that's how I see everyone. I see us as all these amazing, amazing potentials that are so incredibly powerful, and yet we've been diminished to this tiny little cog in this capitalistic wheel, you know? And that's not what we are. We are not just a slave species. We are not just a virus desperately clinging to the earth host and eating it out from the inside. We are powerful change bringers and powerful beyond our belief. So if my music could help people realize that, I don't care if I ever make it big or not. As long as that music message could carry for people, that would be me. So that's my plan for Sons of Shem. Travel around the world, play our music to different cultures, different people, and also allow some of those cultures to influence our music, you know? And then obviously return home to our beautiful South Africa. And then you will see us with Shane and Reno and Amber playing our music, as always, to our home, our hearts, our soul. So yeah, those are some of the plans for now.
Okay,
yeah,
lovely.
but on a more, like, what's the word? Practical level, I suppose. Not that yours isn't practical,
How
so
dare
I'm just tuning in.
you?
Yeah, we're looking. it's like a weird, sad journey at the moment, especially from my side, because like I love Amber and Shane so much, and I wish that I could just take them with here and have them here. But unfortunately, obviously, it doesn't work like that. So we are going to have like the South African sessions. There will always be in FAET and Sons of Shem. And then we'll have more sessions this side as well to play shows with us here. And then obviously whenever like our South African guys can come, we'll do tours with them this side as well. But yeah, we'll have to find some new sessions this side as well. So we're in the current like process of scoping for that as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What are some words you'd like to say to people who have no idea who you are? Like they know you from iChat, they clicked on a video, like, who are these guys? What are some words to new people that you'd like to share?
Please support legends like Polarpanda all the way, because these guys are the ones that are making such a home for us as musicians. And it's a hard day and age to believe in music anymore when everyone's doing it and there's a lot of mass production going out there, and your music can get drowned out in the masses and the mass production of the business industry. And people like Polarpanda, Sludge Underground, all these great guys that are just really creating platforms, especially for South African musicians who are very easily overlooked and often overlooked. We really love you guys, and we just ask everyone out there, please do everything. Even if you don't like our music, please just support these platforms.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
I didn't pay her to say that. Oh my god.
No. We love what Polarpanda represents, and seeing you at our first gig, Matric Marsh was the first gig you saw us, both our bands.
I saw you guys at I think put in a participation for the Vakken Metal Band. You guys were at Westville. That's the first time I saw you guys, and that's when I was like, no, I need to hear this EP. What is that song? What song? Ravioli. Okay, that's it. I'm hooked. Like it's the same story with Mandy. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I got more words of wisdom, but you go first because I'm talking ears off here.
I don't have any words of wisdom.
For people that don't know you.
The people that don't know us. I would just say that like FAET and Sons of Shem as well is like an open community of we accept and love you as you are. You know, not to like steal Nirvana's words, but you know, come as you are kind of vibe. But yeah, like we're very LGBTQ friendly. We're accepting of all people, of all walks of life. And you like if you're at our show, you are part of our family. And if you join our music journey, you're part of our family. And you know, you don't have to be anything. There's no expectations of you. You're just loved and supported and welcomed, you know? Yeah.
We've actually had it, and I will say this now too, just extending from what Mans is saying, is that we've even had it where people have been at gigs, have been inappropriately approached by other individuals, and they know that they can come sit with us. They can say to us, I'm not feeling comfortable right now. And either a big Lebanese man is going to come up to you and put boundaries down with the aggravators, not in an aggressive way, just in a very boundary way, or you're going to be safe at our table. But we are a community where you are welcomed and you are safe. And if you ever find yourself uncomfortable, come join us. Like we are advocates for like the greatness of humankind. You know, like I know that sounds really big, but for Sons of Shem, going back to some words, is that we have forgotten who we are. We are living almost in a dream world where at some point we're going to wake up and go, damn, how did we ever get caught up and believe that was reality? You know, when you wake up from a dream and you're like, I can't believe I was so tripped out from that. I thought it was real. And actually, I forgot that this is the real world. And I think one of these days we are all going to wake up bit by bit and we're going to go, this isn't us. This war in Palestine, this war in Gaza, this isn't us. We were destined for such greater things. And yet here we are living out like a fraction of our percentage. So if you believe in those words and if you believe what I'm saying right now, strap yourselves in for the journey because we're going on such a cool roller coaster together. If you join the Shems and FAET family, that's where we're going. Human empowerment and overcoming your mental illness, understanding your mental illness, not like just curing it magically, but understanding it and using it for the betterment of yourself. Understanding your diversity, and instead of trying to change who you are to fit in with the norm, celebrating your diversity and becoming a stronger person for it. So those are some of the big things that we stand for.
What would you call your fans? What is like your, like, you know, Linkin Park fans are called like LP fans, you know, you have Weezer fans who are called Weasels. What would you call FAET and Sons of Shem fans? What are our nicknames?
I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I was literally thinking about this last night. I don't know yet. I'll let you know when I've decided. Maybe you guys can decide and let me know. But I was kind of thinking of like Fae Folk or something like that. But I haven't like nailed it yet, just yet.
Oh wow!
Sorry, that's something completely inappropriate popped into my head. But so when you type in fate,
oh no.
you often get autocorrected to fart.
Yeah.
So imagine the fans have put a little fart. Shout out all my farts.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
we're gonna keep brainstorming this.
Are you telling me you don't like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it either autocorrects to fart or feet, as in FEET. I'm like,
No
great.
thanks. No thanks. Both are not very, you know, mystical or very deep. Yeah, and lol. Shem fans? What are we?
Shem fans is pretty much, it's also like I'd love to hear from the fans what they like, because it's your identity.
Well,
But for now, it's the 031 Love fam.
I love it.
Quite long, but you know, 031 Love.
Yeah, let's go. All right, where can people find you? You know, where is FAET at? Where's Sons of Shem at? Like, how can we see what hell y'all are doing and the music?
A lot of different ways.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, YouTube. We're all over the place, actually. Like, wherever you can find social media, we will be there, hopefully. Yeah, so we're FAET Music on most platforms. And
Sons of Shem Band. Or you can on TikTok follow Lebanadis. Yeah, but I'll plug some details as well so that everyone can actually just click on links and stuff. But you can just pretty much, for both of our bands, the safest way, go to our Instagram, Sons of Shem Band or FAET Music, and click in the bio. There's Linktree. Go to our Linktree. It has everything there, from our mailing list to our socials to even our Discord channel. We've got a Discord server for the fam. We're not doing much on there yet, but it's a place where the communities of FAET and Sons of Shem can come together. Even if we're not there, just come play some games and talk shit with the people that have like minds to you. There's like updates on where we're touring, what we're doing. When the merch starts up again, we'll be doing it all there. So yeah.
Yow.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sick.
This
All
for
right.
you, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right. Sons of Shem, thank you guys so much for joining me on my channel. As you guys heard, you can find them on like Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. You guys have a Facebook? Like there's both FAET and Sons, they have a Facebook as well. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you guys for joining me on my channel. Bye. Hope everything goes well in Wales. Bye.
Absolute legend. Thanks for having us, bro.
Of course. Yeah. Anytime.